There we wanted to look on whether you have one or two alleles of DRB115, if that affect the interaction between this gene and environmental factors, and also look on the three-way interaction between DRB115 and AU2, which is a protective allele, and all these environmental factors. And we see that has basically been seen before, that if you have the DRB115 alleles, the effect of one or two alleles are additive on the log odds ratio scale. So you can say, if you just look on the effect of the gene, if you have one, it's about 3.5. And if you have two, it's about 7, between 7 and 8. So it increases if you have two, but in the same order, approximately. So, and then we looked on the interaction between smoking and 1 and 2 DRB1 allele, and also took A1 into consideration. And we look there, we see that there is interaction. And the odds ratios are fairly affected. So if you have the greatest genetic risk and are a smoker, compared to those with the least genetic risk, you have about 13 times the risk to develop MS. So that's one of result. And we also looked upon the interaction between EBV in form of high EBNA1 levels compared to those with lower. And also there we see the similar kind of pattern, that there is interaction. There is a three-way interaction between HLA B115 and A2 and EBV. And once again we see, if you have the highest genetic risk, you have double DRB115, lack of A2, and high EBNA titers. You have, I think it's about 30 times the risk to develop MS, compared to those with the lowest risk and low EBNA titers. So it's a great span, and so you can say that the effect of the genes depends on the environment and vice versa. Finally, we also looked on the interaction between these two genetic risk factors and BMI when you are young. And also there we see very similar patterns. So you see a three-way interaction between these two genetic risk factors and high BMI. And the odds ratios become fairly high. I think it's about 40 for those obese persons with the two genetic risk factors, if you have two DRB115 alleles, compared to those with lowest risk. So it's a great span in odds ratios, depending on who you are and what you have been exposed to.